Okay, hello and welcome. I'm Melissa Sterling, and today I'm going to talk with you about something that I get inundated with messages and emails and all kinds of posts and questions all the time. Hashtag recipes. Now, when I hear that, I want to give people all sorts of information and send them recipes and this and that. But what I've discovered is that when you have a recipe and you don't have one of the ingredients that go in the recipe, it becomes an excuse. Why didn't you make that healthy dish you wanted to make? Oh, because I ran out of such and such. Oh, I didn't have enough so and so. You know what? To me, that's BS. I'm sorry. If we want to get real about recipes, then it's not about how to follow a recipe, but rather how to create something that's going to satisfy the requirement of your nutritional component, but also you want to have something that tastes good. Us humans, we like to eat things that taste good, but the problem is that so many foods that are really readily available for us, they might tantalize our taste buds, they might entertain the heck out of our taste buds, but they're not doing much for nourishing the body, and they require our body to do a lot of work for a very small benefit. Okay? So when people send me questions, send me a recipe or how did you make that or this is this, it's like I don't even want to share with people the recipe because I don't want to give them a list of things they have to do that if they don't follow it correctly, they feel like they're not doing a good job. It's just not the way that I look at things. I want to look at everything as an opportunity to create. So when I'm thinking about making something for a dinner or a breakfast or a snack or for my friends because they're hungry, I'm not thinking, what can I make? I need a recipe. I'm thinking, what do I have on hand or what do I have uh, readily good access to, or what can I go get right now that's going to provide the ingredients to make something delicious? So what I do in my own personal life is I don't follow recipes. I don't even make the same thing. Sometimes I'll make the same thing twice, but it's just by accident. It's just because I have that same ingredients in my kitchen or in my travel bag or wherever I am. So I have some staple ingredients that I always sort of keep with me. I do juicing and smoothies when I'm making my raw food. I make avocado soup in my hotel room with my NutriBullet, and I use shallots and garlic and cilantro and water and tomatoes and avocado and a little bit of sea salt and sometimes some cayenne pepper, lime juice, and a jalapeno. How's that for a recipe? But you know what? If you don't have all those things, you can make it up from whatever you want. Pretty much all you need is an avocado, some water, and some salt and some lime juice. And then you can add any sort of herbs, so whether you have parsley or cilantro, you can add any kind of onions, or you can add mushrooms, or you got some chopped up celery, add that, add a cucumber, add pieces of whatever you want. You want to throw some strawberries on the side of the plate and some grapes and some apples, or you want to serve it a little more chunky on some lettuce, go ahead. You can do any number of things once you just, try a few things out, see what works for you, see what's enjoyable to your own taste buds, and most importantly, see what makes you feel awesome after. When you eat your meal, you want to feel full of energy, full of life, full of confidence that you can take on the day and do what you need to do and be able to respond to your environment in the best way possible so that you can put your best foot forward. You want to show up in your life, right? 90% of life is just about showing up. So show up with the energy to do what you want to do, and we get that from foods. We don't get it from following recipes. We get it from creating things out of the foods that we have around us. Now, in order to make sure that you have good foods around you to make these wonderful foods out of, you're going to need to do some serious grocery shopping. Now, serious grocery shopping happens in the produce section. That's where all the living foods are, the vegetables and fruits. And, if you're the kind of person like I was that didn't spend a whole lot of time in that aisle, then that can be like kind of scary and kind of crazy and overwhelming because you're thinking, yeah, sure, it's all well and good to go around the produce section and buy these things, but what the heck do I do when I get home with them? Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you a quick story. I found myself at one point in my life spending a week out in the middle of nowhere in a cabin. And I didn't have a car, so I didn't have access to go get groceries all the time. The grocery store was about 45 minutes or an hour away. What I did have is a friend with a car. And he would come pick me up and take me to the grocery store, and I'd get enough food for a couple of days, and I'd come back. And I realized that nobody was there to cook for me. In my life, I've been very lucky because my mom cooked for me, and then a lot of people took care of me in my life, and I never really had to do much for myself. I remember in my early 20s, I wasn't even allowed to be doing cooking in our home, in my relationship, because I would make things and my boyfriend would be like, "How did you make that, Melissa? We don't even have the ingredients for that recipe." And I was like, "Oh, but I use this as an alternative." And he would think I was crazy. Well, I would think I was creative. So fast forward 10 years, and I'm still being creative, making all kinds of things, not following recipes. Um, it, and I just got better at it. I didn't start out perfect at it. I could burn water. I could not make rice. I could ruin hamburger helper. I could make a big mess taking a sandwich out of a plastic bag and trying to mix um, nuts and cranberries and salad dressing. I was a total disaster in the kitchen. And it wasn't until I was by myself for a week with no access to convenience food, no access to anything, very few tools in the kitchen, and I was on this healthy eating kick. I'd started doing the juicing, which there was no juicer. I'd started eating, actually at that time I was eating paleo, and so I didn't want to eat breads. I didn't want to eat grains, and I didn't want to eat dairy. I wanted to eat, whole foods and high quality lean animal products, but I couldn't find those in good supply, so I had to make them myself. So I went to the store and I bought a whole bunch of things that looked like good, vibrant foods that I wanted to be made of, and then I took them home and I cut them up and I started to create things. And what I found is that if I wanted to, cook vegetables, the best thing to do would be cut them all up, start cooking them hardest to softest. Like a carrot will take longer than a celery to cook, which will take longer than an onion, which will take longer than spinach. So if I'm going to make a stir fry and I've got some carrots and some peppers and some broccoli and some onions and some mushrooms, I'm going to probably do the carrots first and then the broccoli and then the mushrooms and onions maybe at the same time. I can't even remember what else I said, but if I had them all in front of me in my kitchen, I'd be fine. Spinach always goes in last because pretty much you put it in there and it's turned to water. So it's just something that you put in at the end. I make all kinds of dressings, whipped up dressings, with a little bit of, olive oil or avocado oil or macadamia nut oil, some sort of like pumpkin seed oil, some sort of good oil, some sort of citrus or fruit. So I might blend up pears or apples, definitely lemons, limes, raspberries, any kind of thing like that, and some herbs and spices. So whether it's parsley, cilantro, dill, mint, rosemary, thyme, oregano, you can get creative with all these kinds of things. And whatever you're using, like if you have in your meal cilantro in your salad, for instance, if you put the broken up cilantro in the salad dressing too, it sort of complements the flavor and it's like a repeating flavor. Or you can use that same dressing and drizzle it on your sweet potatoes or on your eggplant or on whatever it is that you want to eat. I found that when I started cooking, my best friend became lemon. I can put a bunch of vegetables in, squeeze some lemons, some Himalayan salt, um, sometimes a little bit of coconut oil, sometimes a little bit of, again, the oils, the olive oil, macadamia, pumpkin seed. After it's cooked, I'll stir a little bit of oil in because one of the things that we're really deficient in our body, in our diets, is fats. We need good fats because a lot of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients are fat soluble. They need some place to sit. Also, it's good for our brain and it increases the ability for our cells to communicate with each other because we have communications that go on between the fats. But we need those good fats from avocados, from nuts, from seeds, from oils, from good quality plant-based oils. And we need that in our body. So when we eat a little bit of oil with some stir-fried vegetables, we're actually going to get more out of those greens than we would if we didn't have the oil. The vitamins, I think it's A, sometimes C, or A, C, D, E, and K. Not always C, but A, D, E, and K for sure. Those need a place to sit. They need fat to sit in their fat-soluble vitamins. So it's like if you're in a busy restaurant and you walk through the restaurant and there's no chairs, you might not sit down. You might just go out the other side of the restaurant and find a place to sit. Now, the same with the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. If they go into your body and there's no place for them to be utilized, they're just going to leave your body and go into the toilet. That's what happens. So you want to make sure that you are doing what you can to get the most benefit out of what you're already doing. And if you're going to be eating, stir-fried greens, you want to add a little bit of fat in there so that you can get the most benefit out of it. Now, do I do that because it's in the recipe? No, I do that because it's good for my health. I've learned that if I want to get the most out of my greens, I need fat. That's why I put seeds and nuts in my salads. That's why I eat avocados all the time. That's why I take fish oil, EPA, DHA fish oil. That's why I take krill oil. I take all these different oils to give my body lots of seeds because I want lots of vitamins finding a place to stay. I want all those vitamins to stay and get comfortable and hang out until they need to be utilized, until I need new parts of me, a new liver, a new brain, some new skin, and those things are going to go and build those ingredients, those vitamins that have a nice place to sit. They're going to go and build those parts of my body for me because I put in the effort to create the environment where they have easy access to the ingredients, right? What you have easy access to is a grocery store, and you can go buy all sorts of fresh produce and make all sorts of fresh things that's going to give your body life. Now, I understand that life isn't perfect, and I know that we live in a world where there's a lot of convenience, but you can still manage to do what's good for you and take advantage of the convenience when it's necessary. It's just about learning how your body works and learning the rules so you can learn how to work them to your advantage. Like, okay, for instance, let's say you're going to go to a wedding, and you know they're going to have all kinds of food, and you don't want to be, worried about what you're going to eat and all this stuff. Yes, you can make good decisions. There's always a better decision to be made than something else, but is there a really, really good decision? Maybe not. You don't know. So if I'm in that situation, I'm thinking, okay, I basically have two choices. I can bring my own food, or I can make do with the situation. And if you're traveling by, air, bus, train, plane, automobile, then you might not have the ability to bring the stuff with you. You might just have to make do with what's going on. What do I do in that situation? Digestive enzymes, probiotics, vitamins, juicing. When I go places, I prepare my body to best deal with what's coming. So if I know I'm going to go to a wedding and I'm going to eat a bunch of food that I might not normally eat, and I'm going to indulge a little bit on the dessert table, and make those choices to enjoy my life and be around social with my family and friends, people that I love and care about, I don't want to be worried about digestion. I don't want to be embarrassed by gas or bloating. How do I combat that? Digestive enzymes, eating good in the beginning part of the day to prepare my body. See, if your body is starving for nutrients, it's going to try to get the most out of it. It's going to really work on stuff, and it's going to really tear things up inside. But if all day you've been having nutrients and vitamins and digestive enzymes and probiotics, by the time you get to that buffet, your body's like, I'm already pretty satisfied. I got a lot of things going on. Okay, I'm going to work on this a little bit, but it's got help from the enzymes. It's got help from your body. You have this fire in your body, this metabolism that's working, and it's going to help get through that food. It's not something you want to do all the time. Once in a while, if you bring it up for your body, it can handle it if it's well prepared. How can you be well prepared? By doing the right thing most of the time, so when you need to do something that's not quite the right thing, your body will let you get away with it. So, back to the recipes. Okay, so basically, like I said, I go to the grocery store, I pick a whole bunch of things that I want to be made in or made of, I come home and I put them together. But the key ones for me are, onions and mushrooms. Those go really well together. Peppers. Eggplant is an excellent substitute in any stir fry. You can make incredible stir fries with eggplant. Once you get your vegetables cooked, you can put coconut water, coconut milk, some garlic, some ginger, some herbs, some spices, some black pepper, Himalayan salt. You can put all that together. It is delicious. Now, don't grab the bread. I don't want you dipping any bread in the sauce. Say no to bread. It makes you feel good because it's chemically programmed to hit the pleasure centers of the brain that makes you feel full and satisfied. But the truth is, the body has no need to feel full and satisfied. That's just a habit that we've gotten because we have so much convenience in our life that we have time to sit around and feel satisfied. Well, if we're really being humans and building a human body that wants to carry our spirit around by being strong and flexible and agile and wanting to dance and move and all that stuff, then we want to worry about what we're creating in our body, what we're putting in our body, and feed it the ingredients that it needs to be all those wonderful things. And the foods that make us feel lethargic and down and complaining and tired and like we don't want to do much, you already know what those foods are for you. Quit eating them. Foods that make you feel energetic, like you want to have a conversation, go for a walk, do something, have fun, get involved, live your life. You already know what those foods are. You need to eat more of those foods. Find out what foods make you feel incredible and eat more of them. That's like a super amazing discovery when I realized that I could control my outlook and my mood and my health by eating certain foods. I got really on board. So fresh fruits, vegetables, germinated nuts and seeds, organic oil, cold pressed products organic oils you want to get from coconut, avocado, macadamia nut, pumpkin seed. Stay away from vegetable oils and canola oils. If there's safflower oil, canola oil, um, any number of them, any sorts of those. Where's the one I'm trying to think of? Canola oil, vegetable oil, safflower oil. Maybe it will come to me. But if there's those oils in foods, don't eat them. It doesn't matter how many other better things are in there for you, or if it's not that bad for you, or you could rationalize or justify it with yourself at some point. Don't do it. If there's those oils in it, don't do it. Another rule I have for myself is if sugar is in the top 5 ingredients, I don't eat it. I don't eat it. It's like it's not food to me. It's a decoration or it's a distraction or it's something that somebody else eats that makes them, fat and fart and burp and bloat and unhappy. And because I don't want those things in my life, I don't want to eat those foods. So when it's got sugar and milk and wheat and soy and corn in it, I know those are not foods for me. Those are ingredients that make me feel terrible. They make my skin terrible. They make my mood terrible. They make my body not be in a shape that I want. I don't feel good. I don't sleep good. I'm not even that fun to be around. It can be quite awful. I remember my brothers and my family can attest to this, when I would be going through periods in my life when I would be eating things like those helper meals or the raviolis and the pre-made things with all sorts of sugary dressings and all sorts of packaged processed convenience, frozen pizzas and all these dinners and all this stuff and all this stuff that makes you feel good that's healthy, the Greek yogurts and the high protein and the low fat and the diet carbs and all these things. I had skin problems, mood problems, behavior problems, sleep problems, panic problems, anxiety problems, relationship problems, anger problems, 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 problems. When I started eating differently, when I started creating my body with fruits and vegetables, germinated nuts and seeds, fermented foods, natural foods, organic foods, I started being happier, healthier. I feel like I look younger, I'm stronger, I'm getting into the best shape of my life. I've been able to heal from a couple of really horrible accidents. If you spoke to me 10 months ago, you might not even be able to hear what I was saying or understand the words that I was speaking because I didn't either. Um, I could meet you today and hang out with you and introduce you to someone tomorrow. I could even take pictures of you and there'd be pictures of you on my phone and I wouldn't know who you were. That's the space that I was coming from. 10 months ago, that was my space. In the last 10 months, I haven't taken painkillers, I haven't taken drugs, I haven't taken any sorts of anti-anxiety pills or depression pills or anything like that. What I've done is used natural methods of food and supplementation and exercise and breathing and community support and loving support to heal myself. And I'm proud of how far I've come, and I really believe that the information that I have is special and unique and beneficial and helpful, and I want to share it with you. And for me to give you recipes doesn't feel like I'm sharing myself, doesn't feel like I'm sharing anything useful with you because I feel like it's setting you up for an excuse. And whether you're my mom or my friend or my sister or somebody I met in a seminar or somebody I met when I was traveling the world or somebody who's never met me before or somebody who can totally relate and thinks that we'd really, like to be friends or somebody who thinks that I'm totally crazy and they would not even like me, I want to help you all But I don't want to set you up for failure, and I don't want to set you up for giving an excuse. I want to actually teach. My camera went off, but I want to actually teach you how to think for yourself and create for yourself so that you're not relying on my recipes, you're not relying on my knowledge or wisdom, you're not relying on my experience, because you know for yourself what you need, and you have the confidence in your own creative ability to create what's going to feed you and serve you and help you create your life by design. I speak a lot about the 5 pillars in my own life, and I'll just briefly go over these for you because these bring me a lot of benefits. I pay special attention to the air that I breathe, the water that I drink, the food that I eat, what I absorb through my skin, and the energy with which I surround myself, because those 5 things become my environment, and we become a product of our environment. So if I manage those 5 simple areas of my life, and I do what I can do in the moment to make the best decision possible to bring me the most benefit out of those areas, I know that I'm doing what I can do as Melissa, for Melissa, to create the life that I want by design. I'm managing what I can manage. You can't manage everything. You just have to be okay with it. Life is life. Practice is practice. Life is not fair all the time. People are not loyal and loving all the time. But we can be with ourselves. And I've learned to trust myself and trust my intuition and trust my own decisions. And I know that when I go into the grocery store and I pick, a variety of ingredients, I can bring them home and turn them into something amazing because they're already amazing. Because they're amazing, they're going to turn into amazing things in my body. So some tips for cooking: use fresh foods, use lemons, use limes, use fresh herbs, use onions, use garlic, use ginger, use turmeric, use all those kinds of things and mix them together and see what you like. Don't be afraid to throw in some sweet stuff with your stir fry. If you have a stir fry and you made it out of zucchinis and celeries and red peppers and onions and mushrooms and eggplant, any number one of those things, and it's cooking, you can throw in some pieces of pineapple. You can throw in some pieces of whatever you want. You can have a little salad beside it, avocados, grapes, and strawberries with a cilantro oil dressing that you can whip up in 5 seconds with a NutriBullet. You need very few tools in your kitchen if you're doing it properly. But before you run out and buy all sorts of fancy tools, get comfortable with the produce section in your local grocery store. And you don't have to change overnight. Just change one thing. Become aware of one thing that you can change and implement that. And when you have success with that, do something else. It's about constant evolution. And Melissa Massey and I are doing this whole month about commitment. It's not about being committed to a person or a cause or something grand. It's about being committed to yourself in the moment and making the best decision possible that's in line with what you want for your life. Because that's really how we create our own life by design, the one that we want to live. It's not by taking other people's advice or doing what other people want for us. It's with really taking the time to get to know ourselves, to learn about what's important to us, so that you can go out and participate in things that are going to feed that. One of the things I like to do in seminars and stuff, and I invite you to do this at home. You might want to pause the video, but the first thing I would like you to do is get out a piece of paper and draw a large T in it. And I didn't make this up. I've seen this in seminars, and every time I watched this happen, I thought it was brilliant because it really, really starts the way of thinking. So go ahead and pause the video and get a piece of paper and draw a big T in the paper. Okay? All right. Now on the right side of the paper, I want you to go crazy and list all your dreams, all things you want to do. If time and money and other people's opinions was of no object, what would you do? Would you fly to the moon? Would you live in Kelowna? Would you vacation in the Maldives? Would you go looking at kangaroos in Australia? Would you do a golf tour through Europe? Would you work with children? Would you visit your family more? Would you get a dog and walk him every day? What would you do? Would you go sailboating? Would you, write a book, sing a song, learn an instrument, visit a culture? What would you do? I don't know. That's for you to decide. So take some time right now and write that down. What are your dreams? Now, if you haven't taken the time to write that down, pause and actually do it, because I promise you, you'll get benefit out of it. It's worth the 30 seconds to 2 minutes that you take to do that, I promise you. Okay? So we can turn back the video on. We're going to explore looking at the left side of the page. And now this is easy because I just want you to recall what you did today or yesterday. Alright? And I want you to think about the things that you did when you got up. You get up, you go to the bathroom, you brush your teeth, you get ready for work, maybe there's somebody else in your family you help out, kids, parents, relatives, friends, whoever. You go about your day, you do all your activities, you talk to people, do things, post things, say things, hear things, experience things all day long, and you're doing things all day long. We're busy. We're busy people. We got a lot to do. What are you doing? Write that down. You might want to press pause. Give yourself about 30 seconds to 2 minutes to really think about what you're doing. Really think about what you're doing. Now, if you haven't done that work, please just pause the video and don't watch the rest of it because it's not going to give you the benefit. I'd rather you not watch the rest of my video than watch it and not participate in the exercise because what I want to do is give you a benefit. I want you to actually, get benefit out of watching this. This is not for me. This is for you. I want you to have a benefit. All right? So now you've got your list. You've got on the right side your dreams, and on the left side you've got the things that you do every day. This is the secret. Now, what we get to do is we get to match all the things on the left side. They're getting us closer to the things on the right side, right? So when you get up in the morning to brush your teeth, is that helping you get to a golf tour in Europe? When you're getting up and you're driving kids to school, is that getting you any closer to having a vacation in the Maldives? No. When you get up every day and you're worried about all the things that you're worried about and you're running around doing all the things you have to do, is it getting you any closer to your goals? Most often, most of the things in the left things have nothing to do with the stuff on the right. But the stuff on the right is the stuff we want to be doing. So why is there such a big disconnect? It's not about everything we're doing. It's about the decisions that we're making in the moment. And it's those decisions that we're making in the moment that are eventually going to lead us somewhere. And if you want that to be to a golf tour in Europe, then you need to be doing things all the time that support that goal. Getting up every day and brushing your teeth is not going to get you there. Things don't happen by accident. They happen by design. You can actually create anything you want with enough small steps. When I was little, my mom used to read me this book. And it was by Dr. Seuss, and it was about this king who had this puppy. And there was a little boy who wanted the puppy, and the king told the little boy that if he could hop all the way to the top of this tower, then he could have the puppy. Well, there was a lot of steps, and the little boy thought there was no way he could hop to the top. But he thought about it, and he came back the next day. That boy hopped to the top one step at a time. And because the king had told him if he hopped to the top, he could have the puppy, the king delivered. The king gave the little boy the puppy because he had hopped all the way to the top of that tower. He didn't hop in one jump, certainly not. He was a small boy. But nonetheless, he still hopped to the top, satisfying the requirement. So it's not what you're doing, it's how you're interpreting everything. He saw an opportunity where a lot of other people might see defeat. So, what can I leave you with for the rest of the day? Well, manage your environment. Your air, water, food, what you absorb through your skin, and the people that you hang around with are super important. So today, take a moment with yourself to be aware of that. Maybe it's great. Keep doing it. If it's not going to lead you where you want to go, make changes. It's that simple. So, until next time, thank you for watching, and please send me in your comments and questions. I look forward to serving you in the future. Namaste. Have a great day.